Skip, because just 3 years ago, the guy was the third pick in the draft, and you only had to give up a sixth rounder this year and a 2 and a 4 next year. I think that's a great. I thought that was a great move for the Carolina Panthers. Skip, but I know everybody's just beating up on Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold has never had an offensive player make a Pro Bowl in his 3 years. And he's 12 games under 500 as a starter. He's 13 and 25. But you know what the Jets' records are without him? 0 and 10. So now he leaves that situation and he goes. He has DJ Moore, Robert Anderson, who he had in New York, that they let him go to Carolina, who had a phenomenal year. And he has Christian McCaffrey in his backfield. Look at the coaching staff. Matt Rule, Joe Brady versus Adam Gase. Now remember, Adam Gase had you fooled thinking Ryan Tannehill was terrible. And look what he's done in Tennessee. So for me, Skip, I think it's a new opportunity. And he was so happy. Jim, let's roll the tape. Skip, I don't know if you saw this, Skip. You didn't see what he was so happy. Look at this. A surprise get up out of New York party. Raise the roof. Get up.
Well, those people don't look all that happy.
He happy.
Raise the roof.
They're the people. He happy.
It looks a little blasé.
He looks
Yeah, look at the
excited.
roof. He got, they don't talk about Sam. Look at that. Yes. Yes, plus we got restrictions, so we couldn't jam pack it. We could put everybody up in that thing. But we got a few people that we feel comfortable with.
Is that the best video you could find?
I mean, you got to realize that it's not like he's going to. He's not like he's going to the Steelers or one of these prior.
Okay.
He going to Carolina, okay? But he's up out of New York in that situation. Skip, look, the really great quarterbacks can overcome situations. I'm not saying Sam Darnold is like that. You've seen Brady and you've seen these other quarterbacks that even when they don't have the great talent around them, he's a guy, Skip, that he needs talent around him so he can play to that talent. But I believe going to Carolina where he has more talent than what they had in New York, I believe you'll see a better Sam Darnold. I'm not saying he's going to be historically great, but I definitely believe you will see a better Sam Darnold than what you saw at the New York Jets. And that's what Carolina's telling you, you know what? We believe we bumping our head on the ceiling with Teddy Bridgewater. So when you make this move, Skip, it's telling you, Teddy, yeah, we think this kid is better than you.
So, Shannon Sharp.
Yep.
I'm going to repeat to you what I said before Sam Darnold was drafted with the 3rd overall pick. I will never be sold on him as a franchise quarterback. I watched him a lot at USC. It was troubling how many mistakes he made in key situations. I think he's a great young man. I think he's a try-hard quarterback who tries too hard, too often to make the play, to win the game. And if you look at his results, I give you all the backdrop in New York with the Jets. It was miserable, but he couldn't lift it up.
Right, yeah.
To me, he doesn't have a great feel for playing the position of quarterback. There's too much Carson Wentz going on. There's too much happy feet. There's too much lost poise. There's no command of the position.
You see that offensive line he had?
Okay.
I done threw the ball up in there and ran the other way. The hell with this. Y'all getting me killed anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to go on record. I think history will show that Teddy Bridgewater is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. That's what I believe. And I know Carolina was desperate, and my biggest takeaway from this is Carolina was supposed to be the top suitor for Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And they hung in as the civil suits rose and rose, and now they're all the way up to 22. And I think Friday another woman went to the police and filed a complaint against Deshaun Watson in Houston. So it's up to, you could say, 23 cases. And I guess Carolina finally said,
Nah, we didn't give up too much. We still got our first round pick. We still got our first and second round. We still got our first this year and next year.
Yep.
So if Deshaun becomes available, guess what?
well, maybe. I just saw a mock draft that just was put out by Mike Tannenbaum of the ESPN, obviously the former GM of the
Jets and Dolphins.
Jets and Dolphins. And he still has Carolina taking Justin Fields at number 8 overall. And he's just saying, don't rule them out of the quarterback market. And they've been saying we're not out of the quarterback draft market just yet.
Wow.
Well, I don't really know where that would get them.
Skip, he does understand this is not college. You just can't stockpile one position because it costs you money. Like Alabama stockpiles at running back. They stockpile at wide receiver. Well, it doesn't cost them anything. You can't have quarterbacks making this kind of money on your roster.
Okay. So the saddest part about this for the Jets is now they're at least penciled in at number 2 to take Zach Wilson. I don't know. Will they talk themselves into another quarterback, Mac Jones or Trey Lance?
Or Trevor Field. Jason Fields. Justin Fields.
Yeah. Who knows which way that organization might go with that spot?
Yeah, considering.
But I just read this fact on ESPN that if the Jets do select a quarterback number 2 overall, they would become the first team in the common draft era since 1967 to select 2 quarterbacks within the top 3 overall picks in a 4-year span. That's just horrendously bad. That
explains it.
That is franchise crushing.
Yes.
You can't do it. You will not survive that way.
No.
You better be right about this one.
Skip, you remember, I can't forget his name, at Detroit. 3 years in a row, he selected wide receivers.
Yep.
3 years in a row. I can't his name right.
Matt Millen?
Matt Millen.
Yes,
Matt Millen.
right.
Skip, what? You go Charlie Rogers, you go Williams, and then you go Megatron. What the hell you think gonna happen? And in 16, shortly thereafter, and they marched him right on up out of there. Well, Joe Douglas, I think that's his name, Skip. He about to get marched right on up out of there. He better hope whomever he selects at number 2, that guy better come out and have a Justin Herbert type season.
Yep.
Because if he don't, he gone.
Remember, the sad footnote to Sam Darnold as a Jet was that he somehow rose up and won 2 of his last 3 games, and it took them out of the Trevor Lawrence number 1 spot. So they lost the Trevor Lawrence Derby because remember, they went to the Rams and won 23-20. Then they went home and beat the Browns, who were injury ravaged at that point. They beat them 23-11. It was just like a.
They supposed to beat the Raiders until what's called that bomb blitz on the last play of the game.
I know they had it, and Sam Darnold didn't play great in those 2 games, but he was the winning quarterback. But he also had the worst QBR over the last 3 years in the National Football League, and that tells you something. Again, I give you no help. I give you chaos around him, but I think that if they go forward with Sam Darnold, they will forever be frustrated and be thinking about who's got next in Carolina. That's just me.
Obviously, he goes to a division that has Tom Brady, has Matt Ryan. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be at New Orleans. What do you think? What's the best record that you think Carolina can have with Sam Darnold starting at quarterback?
If he starts all 16?
If he starts all 16.
What are we up to? 17 games?
My man, all 17.
I got to readjust.
We do, Skip. You can't be no more 8-8.
I know.
Jason Garrett, I don't know if Jason could be a head coach in the most game. He can't be 8-8.
With Sam Darnold reunited with Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, who I love. And if McCaffrey is back healthy and can stay healthy for 16, you'd need all that.
With Matt Rule and Joe Brady.
I would give them 6 wins in that division.
6-11, that's it?
6-11. Yep.
No, they better than that. They're better than that.
You still believe in Sam Darnold?
They're going to be better than that.
I'm sorry.
More talented riders going to be better than that.
And the new guy who's running the Panthers, Scott Fitterer, he loved Sam Darnold before he came out. A lot of people loved him.
Yeah.
And remember the rainy pro day at USC? It was raining cats and dogs and not a ball touched the ground.
Well,
and they gave him a standing ovation.
Well, they better pray that it get rain every Sunday so he can throw it like that again.
I just don't see it. And I think that Carolina just readjusted its sights from Deshaun Watson to Sam Darnold. That's like going from plan A to plan
F.
Probably F. I was going to go maybe
good.
G.
That's good. That's way Deshaun Watson is way up there, and Sam Darnold is way down here. That's not even close. They light years apart.
Yep. And I'm not even sold on Justin Fields. And I would get it if they took him there because they're just desperate for something. You know, somebody's got to hit for them.
But Skip, if you really think about it, look at the quarterbacks that came out in that draft. The 2 best quarterbacks, I believe Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are the 2 best quarterbacks. One went, 5th or 7th overall. The other went 32nd after Ozzie traded back in the first round to grab him at the 32nd pick.
Baker is figuring it out.
So you think when it's all said and done, he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft?
You know, it's hard to argue with Lamar after he won an MVP.
Yeah.
Is Baker ever going to win an MVP? I don't know, maybe.
And been to the playoffs every year he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Josh Allen seems only getting better.
I still would take Baker over Josh Allen. I would, you wouldn't.
No.
I get that. But I just like whatever chutzpah is in Baker. I like his spark, his spirit, his ability to lead a football team. And now I'm starting to like his maturity. He's starting to live up to all those commercials. That
Good.
He made.
Odell going to be up out of there. Odell finna go win someone, go him win him a ring.
Okay.
Let him
Good.
go to Green Bay or somewhere and get him a championship.
Good.
Say, I told you so.
He can go with the new Alex Trebek up in Green Bay.
Green Bay.